99.3 KNSI. Welcome to another edition of Taking You Home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate, and you can hear the program every Thursday morning at 7:23, Saturday afternoons now at 12:53, and remember, start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Heidi, good morning.
Good morning.
So, time now for the biggest question, to me, would be the hardest question to answer. How do we decide how to price our home?
Pricing a home is pretty honed in the sense that you can take comparables that are out there, and then you just do some fleshing out of where you stand within a marketplace if you're in a locality where there's other similar homes.
Okay.
When you are looking at something that's maybe on some acreage or a lake and those types of things, that's when we have to really kind of say, okay, what are the neighboring values? What's the quality of the lake? What's the quality of the land?
Okay.
Those different things. So there's a lot that goes into that, but the basis starts out with what's your location, how much square feet do you have, those
Right.
types of things, and then what is the market doing? So and that's where we've seen this dramatic, gradual increase of house prices.
Yeah, home values, right?
Yes.
Is it 3%, 5%?
I think the stat that I most recently saw was 5.4%.
Really?
But some of that might be relative to new construction as
Okay.
well. But yeah.
And what about high-end homes, starter homes, all of that kind of stuff? Because that all comes into the equation, right?
Well, it does, and I had an open house this weekend, and at the one of the groups that went through, they're looking at the house, beautiful little patio home, and the guy's walking out, and he goes, "Can I ask you a question?" He goes, "Why are patio homes so expensive?" And I just said, "Well,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because I just built one.
Yeah.
Why are patio homes so expensive?"
So, I think the basis of that is a couple things. One, you have to remember when you're building a patio home, even though it's a slab on grade or with a crawl space, you're still putting all the same components in that home that exist in a house that would have a basement or not.
Square footage is square footage?
Yeah, it is. So, and a lot of this, it always starts with the land. You got to remember, okay, well, what did the land cost? And land costs are increasingly daunting for people because the cost to develop land has skyrocketed.
Right.
So when we talk about pricing, and pricing of a house that is in Core St. Cloud or a house that is in the outskirts of Sauk Rapids, you can't talk about that pricing without talking about how new construction impacts that.
Right.
And the whole basis of that is that we are in a inventory deficit. Still. Huge inventory. I think the National Home Builders Association deemed that deficit to be about 1.5 million units across the United States. So what happens is that when you don't have enough housing, existing housing is going to start to go up in price. And we've seen that gradually happen over the last several years. But we also have something called inflation that has added to that dynamic.
When did that start?
Yeah. So, but I've pulled some stats since 2020, February 2020, to now.
This is interesting.
Yes.
Now I see why
Yes.
prices are the way they are.
Yeah, so when you start with the new construction and you say, okay, well, steel went up 77%, electrical and power grids have gone
Sure.
up 72%, drywall is up 48%, concrete is up 33%, brick is up 29%, lumber is up 8%, and of course labor costs are always on the continual rise.
So those numbers that you just gave, they have been fluctuating up and down for the past, 4 or 5 years or so?
Yeah, and that's the total increase since 2020. So
Really?
If you would have bought a home in 2020, your drywall cost would have been 48% less 4 years ago.
I'm just looking at lumber because I
Yeah.
knew that lumber went through the roof, but I know it has come back down a little bit.
And
too.
that one has. So this is the overall. So this is in a 4-year window. So when you look at that, you're really in a perspective, okay, people are still building, we still need to build, and the more we build and the more volume we have, the inventory levels will flatten out. But until that happens, there is somebody that benefits from this, and that would be sellers with existing housing.
You stop to think about first-time home buyers, right? They
Yeah.
are not going to go out and build a home.
Generally not.
They're going to try to work their way up the way it ought to be done, in my opinion, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you have folks that are like that, right? Oh, we have our heart is set on building this new house.
Yes.
You kind of have to shatter their dreams a little bit, get their feet back on the ground, or what do you do?
No, I leave the shattering dreams up to the loan officer.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I mean, really, I think that it comes down to people go into this first and they know they have a budget.
Yeah.
We do have some really quality builders in the area that are doing what I would say more of an entry level build. And because the age of first time home buyers has gone up, we
Right.
do see some of those people buying new construction. But if we're talking about our traditional first-time home buyers that are
Yep.
going to buy something and then do their gradual move up, those people generally aren't buying new construction.
Do you know how many dreams you guys have made come true at VoigtJohnson Real Estate? I mean, over the years, because it's got to be huge.
Yeah, I think that with Brandon and I, just in our own statistics, I mean, it's thousands
Yeah.
of people that we've helped at this point. But we on an annual basis or as time goes on, we try to recognize that. But really, it's who we're making successful right now.
One at a time.
Yeah, one at a time.
Right?
Yeah.
That is so great. All right, Heidi, how do we work with you guys at VoigtJohnson Real Estate?
You can call us at 320-774-2400 or give us a look on the web. Can I read you that?
Oh, absolutely.
Give us a look on VoigtJohnson.com, and we've got a good gallery of agents there for you.
One more time.
Okay.
Heidi, how do we work with you guys at VoigtJohnson Real Estate?
Well, please call anytime at 320-774-2400, or you can visit our website at VoigtJohnson.com. We've got a good gallery of agents there for you.
You have been listening to Taking You Home, VoigtJohnson Real Estate. Don't forget now, a brand new time for the Saturday edition, 12:53 in the afternoon, every Thursday morning at 7:23. Start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com.